everyone. I'm Kanisha Grayson, founder and CEO of The Art of Applying. The Art of Applying helps people from all over the world get into the world's best grad schools and get money to pay for it. Today, we are here to share the story of our client, Miguel, and he's going to be on just audio only. That's not his real name, just to protect his identity. And he's going to be sharing with us his story, his advice, and encouragement to other applicants. Hi, Miguel.
Hello.
Thanks for being with us today. So the first thing I always like to start off with is a celebration. And let's celebrate by you sharing which schools you've gotten into with the help of our team.
Okay, thanks, Kanisha. I basically applied to several schools, all of them in the US. And I've been lucky enough to get accepted into Wharton, MIT Sloan, and Columbia Business School for the 2-year MBA programs on all of them.
That is absolutely fantastic, and I'm very, very proud of you. How are you feeling?
I'm very, very happy. Attending business school was something I've always wanted to do. I had this in mind since I was at university during my undergrad as studying engineering. I quickly realized engineering was not for me, and I wanted to do business-related topics. So it's something I've constructed my career around, and having eventually managed to secure this is amazing and really inspiring for me.
It is amazing and very inspiring, and I'm very excited for you. I always like to talk about money. Did you get any money, Miguel?
I did get money on one of the schools. I got a $25,000 one-off fellowship at MIT.
Okay.
I didn't get any money from the others yet, but I'm currently talking to them and assessing options. So it's still moving. It's still live, basically, but so far that's what I've secured.
Okay. I feel good about 25K as a starting point, so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so all of the listeners and watchers, they want to know your stats. So I want you to share as specifically as you feel comfortable with your stats. So you're an international applicant, so they'd love to know kind of what country, your work experience, your age, your GPA, you know, where you went to university, your GMAT score, just all kind of the rundown as specifically as you feel comfortable of your profile, so they can be like, oh, okay, it worked for him, it could work for me. Okay,
sure. So yeah, I'm a European applicant. I'm Spanish. I studied my undergrad in the UK. GPA of, well, there's not an exact translation, but above 3.7. I'm an engineer with consulting and investment experience, both in Spain and the UK, and a GMAT score of 760.
Fantastic. Okay, go on.
No, that's it.
Okay, awesome. What a beautiful, beautiful GMAT score. In fact, Miguel, I give you the award for highest GMAT score of the season.
Wow, oh, thanks. That's encouraging.
Yeah, you had the highest of all clients.
Well, thanks. Good to know.
I think you have the highest GMAT score of all the clients for the last 3 years.
Really? Well, that's nice to know. I actually took the GMAT, as I was saying, I've always been into the MBA thing. I've been into the MBA thing since some time ago. So I took the GMAT, let's say, I think it was 2017. So yeah, been kind of hoping I could use it for some time.
Fantastic. Yeah, what a fabulous score. Yeah, our last client with a GMAT that high was many, many years ago. Another Spanish-speaking male client, David. I'm sure you saw his video. He's the Knight Hennessy scholar.
Yes, I did. Actually, he was one of the videos I saw before enrolling.
Yes, wonderful. Okay, well, let's talk about enrolling. How did you find the Art of Applying, and what resonated with you that made you reach out?
I think what resonated with me at first, and without knowing much about the program, was I think it was two things. The first one was the duration of the of the offer or the service, which went far beyond the usual essay drafting and application drafting, but it also kind of basically lasted for longer and offered a suite of services and support beyond that, that includes not only decision making in terms of what school to attend in case you have the choice, but also supporting in how to negotiate scholarships, as well as an access to a network of other applicants and former successful applicants to both scholarships and schools that create kind of a well-rounded and exhaustive and kind of comprehensive offering that was useful. And then I think the breakthrough call was also useful because I got the feeling that my situation was relatively rare in the sense that I decided to use a consultant late. I think it was July, and my applications were due in early September, and I was taking some holidays off in August. So the fact that I had a breakthrough call and the consultant I talked to at the time was able to kind of give me comfort around the fact that the company could work around my timelines and support me in delivering 3 applications to some of the most challenging schools to get into in such a short time frame was rewarding and comforting. So I think those 2 elements, like the reach of the service offering, the duration, as well as the ability to, in this scenario, match my specific needs, were the 2 elements that drove my decision.
Excellent, excellent. And what were the main things you were concerned about in your application process that made it so appealing, that the Application Accelerator that we offer is so comprehensive, the engagement lasts, all the way through May 1st. So, right now it's early April, and we're still going to be with you for almost a whole nother, I guess we have 2-3 more weeks together to really see you through your whole process. What wasn't going right? What wasn't working in your application process that made you want something so comprehensive and holistic?
I think the biggest thing was the fact that I had no idea about the process itself, and I've learned a few times, like in my job, that there's no need to reinvent the wheel. Like, there's people who've done it before, and basically taking off from their experiences makes the learning process much quicker. So it's that on one side, and the fact that I for whatever reason I thought my experience was good for the schools, but I couldn't find the right story. So I think the ability to kind of move around the obstacles in the process quicker, and the fact that I could have people who were more knowledgeable about the process helping me draft a compelling story were the 2 kind of main drivers that or main obstacles I needed help with at the time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, understood. And so now I want to kind of walk you through different elements of the Application Accelerator and just hear how they were helpful for you. Mm-hmm. The first thing is your one-on-one consultant that you work with on your essays, ask questions in your portal, have coaching calls. How was that for you? What was most valuable about that for you?
I think the most valuable thing around that was to have someone to talk to who knew the process well and had already been through the process in some way before. And it was very useful for me in 2 ways. One, in developing my story, which I mentioned earlier was one of the key problems I needed help with. And 2, in getting that story, in getting my essays to flow in one direction all throughout the essay. So I'm being Spanish, I tend to be a bit lengthier in my spelling, in my writing. My sentences tend to be less kind of spot on. And obviously having a native speaker who knows how to kind of sharpen things up was highly useful.
Okay, wonderful. And I'm curious about maybe how, and I'm not sure how much you did use it, just because I'm just curious, the weekly calls. So the weekly group coaching call, the weekly writing center, and the test prep call. Did you go to those very often?
Test prep, I didn't, as I had already taken the GMAT before. Weekly calls, I've used them when I've needed them. So when I had kind of particular questions, I haven't been a regular attendant. On the coach writing sessions, and I have actually used them more, but I think your perception is that I haven't used them much because I used them, as I said, all of my workload was pretty much concentrated in 1 month.
Yeah.
So I probably used them like 2 or 3 times during that month, but I haven't used them a lot beyond the first month because it was less relevant for me.
Okay.
But it did, they were helpful, and it's always good to see kind of some live editing, both of your stuff and other people's stuff, because well, it helps you see what the process of kind of sharpening things up and kind of brainstorming essays is. So it kind of helps you incorporate new perspectives, if that makes sense.
Yes, for sure. And what I love about your situation is that, you know, you paid the same price as everybody else, even though you had a, you know, a truncated timeline to work with us. And we don't, you know, we don't charge by the school or by the month or whatever. It's everybody just pays, you know, the tuition for the program. And it sounds like it was really worth it to you, even though you didn't use every single thing in the program. And I think that's important to point out, that it's, you're not buying services, you're investing in working with us to get a result. And you definitely got your result.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. It's a way to look at it is just like the MBA school. Like, you're not gonna go there and touch on all the resources the school has. Like, you just need to find the ones that are relevant for your career focus. So so basically, if you go to any school, you're not gonna touch on entrepreneurship, finance, social enterprise, management, etc. You're just gonna focus on the 2-3 things that you need. So I think that's what I did, and what worked for me, and I recommend people to do the same.
Yeah, I love that analogy. I love that analogy. All right, I'm curious also, you mentioned the network of other applicants. How much have you interacted with other applicants so far? And if you have, what did you get from that?
I think I've mostly used interactions or the course, the programs network for the scholarship side of things. So I think I was relatively okay with my personal network in terms of schools, but for scholarships, in particular the non-Spanish scholarships, there were a couple former clients who had obtained the scholarships, and I think it was you who gave me kind of their details. And then they were relatively helpful at first, and then really helpful once I kind of progressed in the scholarship process. I'm still talking to one of the scholarship offerants, but hopefully I can get some money out of that. And I'm still in touch with both the guys who helped me, who are kind of passing on a couple more ideas on more scholarships to look for, and have been very helpful in helping me prepare for them. So I think that's kind of been the area where I've benefited most from other applicants.
I love hearing that. I love hearing that. Okay, awesome. And Miguel, what advice would you give to other maybe Spanish applicants or other international applicants or other people coming from your industry who have a really strong GMAT score maybe, but still need help? Just speak to some of those people. What advice, encouragement, or insight would you provide to them?
For me, it's I think that the MBA, I slightly underestimated the competitiveness of the process at first, and I thought my stats were more than enough to kind of drive me through the whole process. And I soon realized when I started talking to other friends that their essays and their stories, even though they had slightly less powerful stats, were much more powerful than mine. And that's when I started thinking about how to frame a story that made sense. So basically my advice is telling them that the process is much more holistic and comprehensive than it seems at first, and that it requires a lot of thinking and introspection and kind of self-awareness that it's not always achievable by yourself, but a lot of times you need help because it's a lengthy process. It takes a lot of time, and second opinions and people who can help you accelerate your efforts are key in being able to hit your targets. So all in all, it's that it's don't undermine the process, and just I highly recommend seeking for help, because these people, consultants, know what the process is like. They've been through it a few times, and they can help you make the most out of your stats and capabilities and background.
Mm-hmm. And thank you for that. And something that's occurring to me, Miguel, is that it might be nice for you to share whatever you want to share about your personal background and personal goals, because, you know, sometimes it's just a bunch of numbers and stats and we're just like, cool, he's from Spain, whatever. But, you know, it's kind of occurring to me that it would be nice for people to understand, you know, who you are and why you wanted to go to business school and what's going to change about your life and career now that you're going. So basically just kind of some personal sharing, whatever you would want to share.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, I'm not a big career switcher. I know there's a lot of people. There's kind of two big buckets: the career switchers, so people who really want to shift career and who use the MBA as a kind of trampoline, and then people who just want to do the MBA for other reasons. And I put myself into that second category. I've done consulting and private equity. I've enjoyed the investment side of things more than the consulting side of things. So I want to remain on the investment side of things. And I think the MBA is going to help me in two ways. The first one is to benefit from the people I'll meet and living in the US, which I've never have, in quite a kind of vibrant and intellectual and stimulating environment that helps me develop in both personally and professionally. And second, I think it's more the ability to really understand what I want to do within the investment industry. So I've enjoyed private equity, but I think there are a lot of other things that might be interesting. Most of them either have originated or are pioneered by the US. So I think it makes a lot of sense for me to spend some time there and get exposure to all of those things. And that's a little bit my story. It's a story of someone who's enjoyed his career, who's learned a lot, but just wants to refine it a bit more. And that's where the MBA kind of fits in.
Okay, beautiful. Lovely. And let's see if there's what else I want to ask. What are you most excited about? Just what are you most excited about right now and looking forward?
Well, I think probably given the current sanitary situation, what I'm most excited about is probably the fact that, or most hoping for, is the fact that the MBA actually happens. So I'm starting in August 2020. So really looking forward for it to happen, or at least to happen in the kind of most business as usual conditions. And I think what I'm looking forward to the most is moving to the US. So the first time I really went to the US was last summer ever. And I loved it, and I think it's going to be something really, really transformational for me. So that's kind of the thing I'm really looking forward to. Obviously, a lot of things will come with it, but I think the new kind of living experience will be a game changer.
I'm really excited for you. I'm really excited for you. Well, congratulations again, Miguel, and thank you so much for your time and your insight. And I'm really excited to continue working with you to see how we can get some more money out of the schools, and really interested to see where you end up. So definitely keep me up to date so I know where you end up. And I'm just so proud of you. And it's been an honor and a pleasure to work with you.
Great. Thanks very much, Kenisha.
Thanks for watching our video. For more videos just like this, make sure you click subscribe. And if you want to work with us on your graduate school applications, visit us at theartofapplying.com or click on the link below in the description.